Welcome to part 2 of the Garden Report. I'm Jared Weiss, and I'm back now. I'm joined by Jimmy Toscano.
We found him, folks.
On the outside.
What up?
Owner of CLNS Media, Nick Gelso in the middle here. This is the Garden Report, and we're going to talk about Al Horford now. So Al Horford
Get right into it.
A perfect hashtag max contract evening where... Yeah, he did it.
Hashtag
when
max
you talk about Al
contract.
Horford killing the haters, it's a hashtag max
Hashtag
contract
Horford
evening
haters.
for him. And he was incredible despite putting up relatively average numbers as far as like the total numbers. He was 8 for 9 from the field. He
That's
had
not
a true
average.
shooting percentage of 1,000, over 1,000, which is pretty good.
Ideal.
I don't think you need
Ideal.
context to know 1,000 true shooting percentage is good. Jimmy, I mean, what was the thing that you think Al Horford did the best tonight?
Tonight, his calmness. And I think that's something that we're seeing in this playoffs is, well, let me start over. Him being able to compartmentalize his calmness on one end, but show that fire on the other end. He's able to sort of lock in his guys, and at the same time, we're seeing a fiery Al Horford, a guy that we didn't really see a whole lot of in the regular season. Here's a question I have. We hate on players. We don't hate, but okay. The Celtics, they say they play too hard in the regular season. Right. They play too hard in the regular season. Look at like LeBron, they're kind of coasting right now. But Al Horford, I'm not saying he coasts in the regular season, but he's clearly in another gear right now because of the experience he has knowing that there are playoffs in the future.
I couldn't agree more. And it seemed like everybody, the people who were watching closely, knew there would be a different Al Horford come playoff time. And he's shown that. Like Jared just said, I mean, between filling out the box score with assists, being able to dribble the ball up the court and initiate the offense, he's giving Isaiah a break. And what I liked the best was rallying the troops at halftime. I think Avery Bradley told us that in the press conference. Rallying the troops, telling them, look, we have 2 quarters and we're 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a leader. That's why he's paid to be here.
Yes.
He's also paid for his unbelievable creativity. So let's break it down. So this is something I asked all the coaches, asked almost everybody tonight, was Al Horford being used as a point center. And, you know, this is something that he's always been credited for. They're able to throw it to him in the post, on the elbows. He can make plays. But tonight, they were literally using him as the actual ball-handling point guard. And there were a lot of plays that really, really killed the Wizards. It was, I think, mostly in the second and third quarter, was where they would run plays where it would be usually Isaiah bringing the ball down the court. Then they would give it to Al, and Al would start the action for the play. There were plays like Al ran a pick and roll with Isaiah. Al said after the game that Jay Larinaga, the Celtics assistant coach, actually went to Al and said, watch out for some screens from Isaiah. We're going to run some stuff for you. And Al said, I've never seen that before. I can't wait to see what happened. And Isaiah, it was clear from what Isaiah was saying after the game, he was told this game, you're going to be setting the screens. We're going to throw this at them.
He said he's versatile. Isaiah could do it. He's multi-talented. He did a good job at the screens. The other thing we're able to see is Avery Bradley, some of these guys playing a little more off the ball because Al's initiating a lot of the offense from the top of the key and finding players.
Yeah, skilled big man who can handle the ball. I mean, it's not the first time they've used him as obviously they use him as a point center, you know, throughout the year. His teammates call him the best passing big man in the league. The stats will back that up. Average 5. Scotty Brooks calling that. I think he averaged exactly 5 assists a game this year, which was lead amongst all centers. So this guy, yeah, he's not pouring in 25 a game. That's not what they want him to do. That's not what they need him to do. He's doing a lot of things off the ball. He's creating space. He's creating plays for some of those guys that are filling it up, like Avery Bradley tonight with 29.
So, Jared, you're going down to D.C. What do you see for Game 6?
Well, you know, the Celtics are pretty committed to closing this one out. And we saw in the last series, it was the opposite of this series, where it was the road team kept winning. And they went into Chicago for that Game 6, and they had just won 2 games. And for them, it was, we need to continue this momentum and hammer it out. And there have been so many momentum swings in that series. We're seeing it in this series. They're committed again. I mean, the momentum swing from Game 4 to tonight was unbelievable. They got crushed in the last game, and the Wizards, what happened to the Celtics where the game was over in the first quarter happened to the Wizards tonight. So how does that change? I mean, I asked John Wall after the game, you guys have the biggest differential in wins of any team in the NBA between home and the road. The Wizards do. How do you fix that? And a big thing that he mentioned, he actually was saying it right before I asked the question, was role players step up when they're at home. Tonight we saw the role players for the Wizards, for the most part, struggled mightily.
The Celtics stepped up.
Yeah, every single guy on the Celtics. Jaylen Brown didn't even attempt a field goal until like the late fourth quarter.
0 points.
It was a plus 16 that entire time. Steven, something that I literally have asked Brad a couple times if he's going to do it. He finally went to Jaylen Brown. He didn't start him, and that worked tonight. Amir really worked. That was actually was incredible. That alley-oop he had, that was like looked like a ballerina out there.
For Amir too, and I was happy. It was the right decision. Amir played the entire season. The Celtics played well most of the season. Going back to Amir, I think, was the right decision. Fans went crazy on Twitter right before the game. It's over. It's over. Come on.
There was continuity, which was great.
I know.
But that adjustment to go to Jaylen was crucial because Jaylen was being used in each half as a bridge between the first unit and the second unit, and he was able to keep the team athletic and be able to keep them in transition on both ends. He was fighting. He makes a lot of mistakes. Brad Stevens refuses to put praise on him.
You notice that? I mean, he refuses. Today he said he played well.
He had a solid game.
Or he had a solid game. That's what he said.
Because you know what's going to happen? Jaylen Brown's going to be an all-star in 2 years since he'll be like, now he's a great player.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's good to see him going to Jaylen Brown more because there were some stretches where we literally didn't see Jaylen at all, and then we were seeing him for small stretches. I think that he does add, he's not going to pour it in, but he does add that defensive value to the team. And I do think that he can help out. And I think tonight it was a perfect example. 0 points, plus 17. And
I think
a bonehead foul.
There was one boneheaded foul, but he limited the boneheaded turnovers.
Sure.
Which is something that the Celtics could not have tonight because they have to limit transition.
Okay. What do they have to do to win in Game 6?
Oh, man. More of Game 5. They need to come out strong. They need to not take the foot off the gas, limit transition. I mean, everything today. I mean, the role players have to step up. Jared, all you, man, you're going down there. What do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be one of the role players down there. I'll be watching.
Sure?
I think the thing that will happen is we're going to see good performances from a lot of these auxiliary players. Yep. They have the momentum at this point. Smart, he still hasn't put together like that good game where we can feel comfortable saying that he is finally on track. But his defensive performance tonight was amazing. Yeah. His 50-50 ball attacks was great. He was on the floor. And Avery Bradley said he was inspired by Marcus Smart. Yep. So they need more inspiration from Marcus. If he can really – because we know John Wall is going to have like a 40-20 game. He's going to go out of his mind in Game 6.
The key is keeping Beal under control, I think.
That too. So if Marcus can do some damage there – and try to keep Wall from getting 40 points, from getting 15 assists, I think that is where they have a chance to win this one. So,
one question before you wrap. Gortat, limited tonight. Was that because of the way the Celtics were playing Al Horford?
It was, when they were running those plays where Horford was the ball handler, Gortat was going under those screens like he was covering, like it was an Isaiah Thomas pick and roll. They had no idea. I asked Scott Brooks, like, did you see that coming? Have you studied that before? Because they'd never run it before. Brooks, like, immediately brushed it off. He's like, no, it wasn't that. It was the transition stuff, which is true. But Gortat had absolutely no idea how to defend the Celtics when Horford, his man, was the one handling the ball. So they got to keep doing that. I mean, I'm sure
good Stevens game tonight. It was a good Stevens game tonight. We were waiting for one of those. I don't think he's had the greatest playoff series coaching wise, but I think tonight was his best game.
I'd agree, and he needed it after he took kind of some criticism after that 26-0.
Yeah,
put some of the blame on himself.
Well, one thing we've seen out of Brad, especially in the last series, the deeper the series goes, the more that he shines.
I'll take Brad's brain over most NBA coaches' brains in the NBA. My key. Limit the turnovers. Assist-to-turnover ratio is huge. Not too high, not too low emotionally. It's a very emotional series. It's going to be one of the most emotional games that all these players have ever been in. You don't want to get too caught up in it. That's it.
It's Al Horford, really, because keeping that emotions down and in control.
The veteran presence will help.
The veteran presence.
Avery Bradley as well.
Avery, Al, to a certain extent, Isaiah. And really, everybody continuing to rally around Isaiah, not needing him to score 50 points, I think is key.
All right, well, that'll be it. Avery Bradley said it tonight, and so did Dick Gelso. They can't make Isaiah Thomas the center of the offense. No, you said Isaiah Thomas. So that'll do it for us here in the Garden. I'm heading down to Washington on Friday. We will have the Garden Report from Game 6. And then on Monday, we either have the Garden Report from Game 7 or Game 1 of the conference finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
The return of King James.
It's going to be fun. We are hopefully in for more Garden Reports, more games, and more fun for you. And don't forget, the draft lottery is next Tuesday, where the Celtics could get
Big week.
They're going to get a top 4 pick in a week, and they could be in the conference finals. It's a pretty good time.
I don't want to tell anybody the results I got from my draft stream. I'm getting sick thinking about how many
The Lakers
times.
get the #1 pick and they took Lonzo
I
Ball.
can't tell you how many times I had to click it before the Celtics got #1. I don't even want to think about it.
Don't
Hopefully I
even
got them all out. I got them all out.
Time to wrap.
Okay, let's wrap it up here. Leave comments on this YouTube video. Would you rather see the Celtics win the #1 pick or get the 4th pick but see the Lakers fall out of the lottery and not and have to convey their pick over to the Sixers? That's what I want to know. So that'll do it for us here on the Garden Report. For Jimmy Toscano and Nick Gelso, for Jeremy Karpf behind the camera and Josue Pavone lazily sitting over there, I'm Jared Weiss. We'll see you next time.